Join us on Patreon and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
The Ethiopian Bible, often referred to as the oldest and most complete Bible in the world, holds a profound and intricate history that predates many of the well-known Christian texts. Yet it remains an enigma, overshadowed and excluded from mainstream narratives. Its erasure from history is a story interwoven with cultural dominance, religious politics, and colonial ambitions, a tale that beckons us to unravel its mysteries and recognize its significance in shaping the theological and spiritual fabric of the world. Imagine a world where the origins of Christianity are not solely tethered to Rome or Constantinople, but instead extend deep into the heart of Africa, where ancient traditions and sacred manuscripts have thrived for millennia. This world exists within the borders of Ethiopia, a land often called the cradle of humanity. The Ethiopian Bible, also known as the Guizi Bible, contains books and scriptures omitted from the Western canon, offering a glimpse into an early Christianity untainted by centuries of theological disputes and power struggles. Why, then, has this treasure been neglected, obscured, and in many ways erased from the collective consciousness of global Christianity? To understand this erasure, one must first appreciate the richness of Ethiopia's spiritual heritage. Christianity reached Ethiopia in the early 4th century, long before many European nations embraced the faith. The Aksumite kingdom, one of the ancient world's great powers, adopted Christianity as its state religion under King Ezana, making Ethiopia a cornerstone of Christian history. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, to this day, preserves practices and traditions that harken back to the early church, offering an unbroken link to antiquity. Central to this heritage is the Ethiopian Bible. Written in Guizi, a Semitic language that predates Amharic and Tigrinya, this sacred text comprises 81 books, compared to the 66 found in the Protestant Bible and the 73 in the Catholic version. It includes texts like the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, and additional Psalms, which provide unique insights into early Judeo-Christian thought. These writings, often dismissed or labeled apocryphal in Western traditions, hold significant theological and cultural value in Ethiopia. The question of why this Bible has been erased from history is deeply tied to power dynamics and the geopolitics of religion. In the early centuries of Christianity, as the Roman Empire began to consolidate its theological influence, the Council of Nicaea, AD 325, and subsequent councils sought to establish a uniform canon. Books that did not align with emerging orthodoxy were excluded, branded heretical, or relegated to the periphery. The Ethiopian Bible, with its unique content and emphasis, found itself outside these dominant Western frameworks. Ethiopia's geographic isolation also played a role. Nestled in the Horn of Africa and protected by rugged highlands, Ethiopia remained largely insulated from the broader currents of European Christianity and Islamic expansion. This isolation allowed the Ethiopian Church to develop independently, but also rendered it vulnerable to marginalization. European missionaries and scholars, arriving centuries later, often viewed Ethiopian Christianity as a curiosity rather than an integral part of Christian history. Their accounts frequently dismissed Ethiopian practices as deviations rather than authentic expressions of early faith. Colonialism further compounded this marginalization. In the scramble for Africa during the 19th and early 20th centuries, European powers sought to impose their cultural and religious norms on the continent. Ethiopia, though never colonized in the traditional sense, faced relentless attempts to undermine its sovereignty and heritage. The Ethiopian Bible, with its profound historical and spiritual significance, posed a challenge to colonial narratives that often portrayed Africa as a land without history or culture. By erasing or ignoring the Ethiopian Bible, colonial powers sought to diminish Ethiopia's role in the Christian story. Religious politics also played a part. The rise of Protestantism and the spread of Catholicism in Africa often involved efforts to correct or modernize local Christian traditions. Ethiopian Christianity, with its rich liturgical practices, fasting traditions, and unique biblical canon, was often viewed through a lens of condescension. Western missionaries and theologians frequently sought to re-educate Ethiopian Christians, framing their ancient traditions as outdated or incorrect. This condescending attitude contributed to the erasure of the Ethiopian Bible from broader theological discussions. Moreover, the Ethiopian Bible's content itself posed a threat to established theological narratives. Texts like the Book of Enoch delve into topics such as the Watchers, fallen angels, and the origins of evil, themes that challenge simplistic interpretations of Scripture. The Book of Jubilees offers a reinterpretation of Genesis, emphasizing the covenantal relationship between God and humanity. These perspectives, while integral to Ethiopian Christianity, were often deemed too controversial or speculative for inclusion in the Western canon. By excluding these texts, Western Christianity effectively narrowed the scope of theological inquiry, sidelining alternative voices and interpretations. The role of racism and ethnocentrism in this erasure cannot be overlooked. For centuries, Africa has been viewed through a Eurocentric lens that diminishes its contributions to global history and culture. The idea that a sophisticated and ancient Christian tradition could thrive in Africa challenged deeply ingrained stereotypes. Recognizing the Ethiopian Bible's importance would require acknowledging Ethiopia as a theological equal, a notion that many Western scholars and religious leaders were unwilling to entertain. Despite these challenges, the Ethiopian Bible endures as a testament to resilience and faith. It remains central to the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, shaping the spiritual lives of millions. In recent years, scholars and theologians have begun to rediscover its significance, shedding light on its profound historical and theological contributions. Digital technology and increased global interest in Ethiopia's heritage have further amplified this rediscovery, offering new opportunities to appreciate the Ethiopian Bible's role in Christian history. The erasure of the Ethiopian Bible from mainstream narratives is not merely a historical oversight. It is a reflection of broader patterns of exclusion and marginalization. By reclaiming its place in history, we not only honor Ethiopia's rich spiritual heritage, but also enrich our understanding of Christianity's diverse and multifaceted origins. The Ethiopian Bible invites us to see beyond the confines of the Western canon, to embrace a more inclusive and holistic view of faith, and to celebrate the enduring legacy of a tradition that has withstood the test of time. In doing so, we must ask ourselves, what other stories, traditions, and voices have been sidelined or erased in the quest for dominance and uniformity? The Ethiopian Bible's erasure serves as a reminder of the power dynamics that shape history and the importance of continually seeking out and amplifying marginalized perspectives. It is a call to action, urging us to explore the depths of a faith that transcends borders, languages, and cultures, and to recognize the contributions of all who have shaped its journey.